Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with a comic book review. I haven't done one of these in a long time, so I thought it was kind of overdue. I actually got a book for a good friend of mine, Candy, out in North Vegas. Candy, hi, happy birthday. Sorry I couldn't be out there. I hope you had a good time with your kids out at the carnival. I'm sure they had a blast. So I picked up a book specifically for Candy because she is a fan of Harry Potter. Oh, that kind of kills me to say. I'm just not a Harry Potter fan. I never have been. So sorry to all the Harry Potter nerds out there, but I just can't get into it. Which is weird because I love all the nerdiness to it. It's got wizards. It's got, you know, kid wizards, good versus evil, magic, a school of magic, all this kind of really fun stuff. But it's I don't know. It's never really gotten me. So I was talking to my friend Candy about Harry Potter, and I'm like, well, you know where this comes from. It actually comes from the Books of Magic by Neil Gaiman, and that's Gaiman, G-A-I-M-A-N, not Neil Diamond. Candy. So yeah, you know, we were talking about this, and I said, you know, the archetype for Harry Potter really kind of shows up in this book. It's about 7 or 8 years before the first Harry Potter novel was written. And there was a big stink about this, a big controversy about this, of how close Timothy Hunter and Harry Potter are. And I'm going to talk about that, and then I'll show some pictures of the two so you can kind of compare them. And it's basically the same character. You get this English boy, kind of this, you know, poor little English boy with spectacles. He's got this little scar on his head. His hair kind of drapes over. He's got a pet owl. And he becomes the greatest wizard of all time. And he's protected by the forces of good, hunted by the forces of evil. Does this sound familiar? It's Harry Potter. Basically, J.K. Rowling took the same idea, rewrapped it, resold it, and made a ton more money out of it. And you know what? Warner Brothers doesn't care because Warner Brothers put this out through DC Comics. J.K. Rowling's book had become a Warner Brothers film, so they were like, whatever, we're making money off of it. Initially, Neil Gaiman had said it was a ripoff, and then somewhere along the line, he said, well, it's a base archetype. No, it's not. I think Warner Brothers basically told him, you need to shut up so we can make more money, and I think they gave him cash out of the deal. But, yeah, that being said, this is a DC Vertigo comic book. This graphic novel went for about $20. It's been out of print for a while. I ended up picking this up for $47 off of Amazon.com. It is a new book, but it's doubled the price in the years. Yeah, kind of interesting. So, you know, going on the whole Harry Potter theme, really the character is about it. That's about it. This is a comic book. It has nothing to do with a wizard school or anything like that, any of that mystical, magical type stuff. This is wildly different. You've got comic book characters and heroes that are introducing Timothy Hunter to the world of magic. And do you really want to be a magician? So, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the book. So if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching this right now. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. It's written by Neil Gaiman. Here's the cover. Very nice, very cool stuff. Here's the back of the book itself. It is illustrated by 5 different guys. So we have a variety of different artwork that goes through the book itself. So here's some examples of the art there. Let me find a different artist. Yeah, here's another good example of some art. So as you go through the book and he travels to different realms, we get a lot of different type of artwork. Here's a good one with Spectre. That's pretty awesome. So basically, you've got what they call the Trenchcoat Brigade. which is John Constantine, the Hellblazer, who had a show on NBC that just got canceled, unfortunately. There was a horrible film with Keanu Reeves. You've got Mr. E, who's kind of a nut job that's blind, that can travel to the future. You've got Dr. Occult, who's kind of a big figure in this, and then you've also got, I forget who the other guy is off the top of my head, but another one of the Trenchcoat dudes. So they basically, they foresee Timothy Hunter becoming the greatest hero, or greatest magician, of all time. And do we kill him? Do we give him the choice? Does he want to do magic? Because the whole thing is, once you get into magic, there's no going back. And that's kind of a cool concept. Now, there are other characters that show up throughout this book, which is really nice. You get the Sandman from Neil Gaiman's Sandman series. Death and Eternity also show up from that series. Of course, John Constantine's in it. Zatanna is in this, who made an appearance on Smallville. Of course, is a big staple in DC Comics. The Spectre, which is really cool, is in there. Dr. Fate is in here. Brand Boston, the Dead Man, he is also in here. So there are a lot of really dark and mystical DC comic characters that show up throughout this book. And, I mean, it's kind of cool in the fact that it's pretty much negative the entire way through the book on why you don't want to become a magician. Why, what's happened to magic, where it's gone, magic throughout the ages, how it relates, its relationship with science, and then where it goes in the future. So it's a very, very interesting concept. I really enjoyed the book. One of my favorites to actually sit down and read. If you're a comic book fan, like on the deep level books, this is definitely one to get. If you like more of the adult comics, and I mean that in the fact of adult themed in story arc, not like nudity or anything like that, the pornographic type stuff, but just kind of the headier type stuff, and darker books. This is definitely something that you want to pick up if you're into magic. If you like Harry Potter, I recommend picking this up and seeing where that all came from. Absolutely, that's a great way to get into these type of comics coming from a Harry Potter fandom. Yeah, definitely cool stuff. And if you like those oddball DC characters, you're definitely going to pick this up. So any solid comic book nerd would love to have this in their collection. I'd really like to see a film on this. I don't think we're ever going to get one, but I wouldn't mind seeing a DC animated film in the DCU. I think that would be a lot of fun there. So, yeah, definitely cool. So there it is, the Books of Magic from DC Vertigo. If you guys like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. What did you think about this story arc? What are your opinions between Timothy Hunter and Harry Potter? I'd love to hear them below. And, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, sharing my videos. I really do appreciate it, guys. And as always, look for more videos in the future. And before we head out, here's the comparison side by side. We've got Timothy Hunter from the Books of Magic on the left versus Harry Potter from the Harry Potter series on the right. Some very, very eerie differences. You can obviously see where the inspiration came from. I'm not saying she ripped this off. She may not even have known it existed. However, it's really hard for me to believe that was the case on how close these characters and structures are. But you know what? It is what it is. She took a story, reimagined it, and made a ton of money off of it. They say all great stories have already been written. You just have to change them to make them your own, right? So, yeah, good for her. I personally like the Books of Magic better, probably because that's what I read when I was a teenager. It's just weird and eerie that Timothy Hunter came out 7+ years before the very first Harry Potter novel even came out. Another really weird and creepy thing is if you read the Books of Magic, John Constantine, the Hellblazer, makes a direct comment
to the HBO series based off the novels True Blood. He actually makes a reference to that, which was probably 15 years before the show. I'm not sure when the True Blood novels came out. It might have been around the same time, and they were kind of making a nod to it. But definitely read the book. Check out the nod to that. Check out all the nods to the DC characters in the book. Definitely fun stuff. I really like it. I think that any comic book nerd would. So, again, thanks for watching, guys, and always look for more videos in the future.